Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we are currently working a little bit on this traffic situation. That's what we were working on previously anyway, and it's definitely a bit problematic. I'm a little concerned about the number of buses here, in all honesty. Let's try bumping this down to 300% and getting a few fewer buses here, because I feel like there's too many there right now. Now, we also have this that was put in relatively recently, but I just noticed we didn't rezone this, and that is definitely something that we should do. So we're going to go ahead and zone it about like that, and I'll zone this section residential as well. And then all of this over here, that can all be commercial. And there's also plenty of commercial space over here. So there we go. We'll get that zoned and that will get underway. So that's fantastic. We do still have some sick people over here. And I'm wondering what our treatment system is looking like in this vicinity. Mediocre is the answer. But honestly, I mean, we've got a medical clinic here and here. So it should, in theory, be okay, especially now that this traffic is flowing reasonably well. Perfect. So as far as this up here goes, we're hoping that the bus situation here gets sorted out a little bit. I feel like there's still too many buses along this line. How many stops are on this line? Is this actually counting the number of stops? I feel like it's not. Oh, this is passengers? Wait. Vehicles and stops. Oh, I see. That's interesting, to be sure. But we're going to try bumping this down to, say, 14. 14 buses. Okay. So many of these buses should, in theory, get eliminated, and that'll be absolutely fine. I'm a little bit concerned about the traffic over this way. I feel like the way to fix that might actually be to upgrade this street and this street, as well as the outer street here. Now, the outer street being upgraded is going to be interesting, to be sure. I'm not sure exactly how we'll handle that, but I do want to get that done as soon as we can. And actually, we can just do that right now, and then remake these paths. That's not a huge deal here. I do not want that to go underground, necessarily. And I don't actually want to snap this right now. I want to put that in right there. Excellent. And this goes in here. Sure. And I guess that'll do. Do we need a connection out over here? I feel like we don't. So we'll just leave it like that for the time being. And then we're going to upgrade our way up this direction. And there's something here that needs to be upgraded. Aha! Got it. Okay. And then this out here would need to be upgraded as well. Like so. We're going to need to move this, what is it here? This police station. That can be relocated over here without destroying any buildings. This firehouse would also need to be relocated similarly, and that is completely okay. So we're going to do something along the lines of that and continue working on this outer area over here. Now, some of this may end up impacting the coastline very slightly. That's, I'm not going to say okay, but I'm going to say it's acceptable. If that distinction has any meaning. Okay, we need to make sure that this bus line is apparently broken, but we need to make sure that this power line is not. We'll come back to this bus line maybe a little bit later on, and we'll just head up over this way. And that is space already occupied, slope too steep. Okay, so let's take this section out and see if just doing that... see, that's the problem there. So we need to take that section out and do that. And then we would need to bring this road on in. Something over here would do the trick. But apparently it doesn't want to... Ooh, that would actually work. I don't love it, but it'll do the trick. Okay, so let's continue upgrading our way up through here. Fantastic. And we just need to make sure that all of this outer area is upgraded. We're going to need to move our Eco-Advanced Inland Water Treatment Plant, and that of course means that we need to move our water line as well. And that's okay. We can definitely do that. And we'll need to move this firehouse. There we go. And we'll need to move this waste processing complex. Wrong button. We'll need to move that perhaps over here for now. We'll also need to move our solar updraft tower, but let's get a couple upgrades over here first. So we'll upgrade those two so that we have a little bit more space to work with, and we'll put our solar updraft tower there. We'll put our hospital here, and we'll put our eco-advanced inland water treatment plant perhaps over... That's all slope too steep. Okay, we're going to need to do a little bit of upgrading here first then. So we'll do that, and then we'll drop this right here. Have a nice polluted hospital. What could possibly go wrong with that? We're actually going to move the hospital over here where it's, you know, a little bit less polluted. And then we're going to move our water line here. I was going to say power line, but this is definitely a water line. So we're going to do that, and we're going to continue working on this road. And of course, we're going to need to move this firehouse. We'll move that in there. Perfect. And then we'll make sure this power line remains connected, like so. Okay, so we'll continue our way down this coastline. No worries. That is apparently slope too steep, and fair enough. Let's take all of those out. And let's just look at connecting that in like so. There we go. And then we will want to, of course, connect this in approximately like that. Okay. So there's that slope too steep fixed. And we're just going to continue working our way through here. I'm actually surprised that we were able to upgrade through here. This is space already occupied, and that doesn't surprise me. So we're going to take that section out for right now, and we're going to then re-upgrade this through here. Not really re-upgrade it, but just upgrade it. And then we'll bring this road back in as best we can. I do want snapping back on. We can connect it here. Have it not connect over here? I wonder what would happen if we took this section out, connected this straight in like so, but this would need to be one way. So straight in like so, and then have that connect like that. So it's only right-hand turns. And then maybe we would be able to bring this out, like that. That does alter the coastline slightly, but I'm going to consider that acceptable losses for right now. This is apparently slope too steep. Questionable, but okay. Well, this whole thing is questionable over here, if I'm honest. So we're then going to bring that in like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to need to take this section out and attempt to reconnect this, although... while we're at it, I'm going to take this whole thing out, and we're going to upgrade the size of this road. So we'll connect that in here, and then what is blocking here? The crematorium? That can be relocated to here for now. So we'll just do that number. Excellent. And then this road would get removed, and we would bring that road in approximately like that. Should be fine, in theory. And then this road, well, it would come in a really awkward fashion. Should we just terminate this road up here? What would that end up looking like? No, we should not just terminate this road up here. We could, however, bring it in something a little bit more like this, and then connect that up over here. Slope too steep. See, this is creating that same awkward situation we had before where this road is technically invalid. What if we take that out? That's just slope too steep, period. But what if we bring it in there? It's slightly messy. But then again, this whole thing is slightly messy, so I guess we'll live with it. I do want to fix these bus locations. Although we don't appear to be fixing them anytime soon. I'll remove that one for now, and this stop... Oh, this is actually a one-way situation here. Right. So let's just go ahead and change this over to bidirectional for now. I don't see necessarily a reason for this to be one-way. So we'll just do that, and then we'll go back to this upgrading project over here. Something along the lines of this. Now, we're going to need to move this firehouse. That's acceptable. And this section through here is where this is potentially going to get messy. So that actually works, but doing this requires that we move the metro station. So we'll temporarily move the metro station. It's all slope too steep. We'll temporarily move that up over there, and then we'll put this back. Now that breaks our pathing, and that's fine. So we're going to do that and bring this down to ground level, turn snapping off for the purposes of this. And then we're going to bring that on over to here and then down to ground level, approximately there. Okay, so there's that fixed. And then we're going to need to do the metro station. And I'm actually thinking about placing it up here instead. About like that. And then we will rerun these metro lines ever so slightly. Have them come up. Instead of that, they will, of course, do something kind of along the lines of that and that, in theory. Then, we're going to come down here. We're going to attempt to grab this metro stop. That's not going to go well. Cannot find path. Okay, so that probably means that this corner is too sharp. So we'll try running that out a little bit more like that. Although I kind of hate this. So let's take that out of there. Wow, look at that traffic backup. That is definitely something that we want to address. And we might be able to do so. I'll think about how I want to handle that in a moment, but we'll just bring this down. Maybe even something like that. Or perhaps just this. Okay. So let's go ahead and delete this metro stop. And we can't really get there from here. So we might have to do this the old-fashioned way. Let's see. Yeah, cannot find a path. So we're going to have to, not bus, metro. We're going to have to find the correct metro line here. And which metro line is it? Ooh. Hello. This one. Metro line 30. Fantastic. So we'll get rid of that. And we will just create ourselves a new line. And we'll bring it in over here. And back up over to here. There we go. Okay, so that's moved to the other side of the street. Excellent. Now, as far as this goes, do we potentially want to put on an exit ramp here that would bypass this intersection and merge, like, from over here, hypothetically, up over, like, this direction and come in over here? Like, I mean, not like that, but approximately along those lines. So it would come up maybe up here, like this, and then come in over here, and then curve in up this way somewhere. Like, that's kind of objectively awful, but something like that. That's something we could do, and that might help clean this up a little bit. Just having this outer area of higher traffic should help pretty dramatically. And there's this over here, of course, and we did take out this power line, so that'll need to be replaced, and we definitely will do so. Let's turn our snapping back on. Fantastic. And we'll need to allow people to utilize this in a little bit here. They'll need to pathfind their way over, and this isn't going to clean up for a while. I do feel like there's still too many buses on this line. So we will drop that down to 100%. Okay. That definitely seems a lot better. That seems a whole lot better, actually. I want to check in on the sign situation over here. Okay, so that should yield, and that should yield. Excellent. And then this should all be traffic lights in here. Yeah, these are all traffic lights right now, and I guess we'll just leave it that way for now. If they cause issues, we can address it later on. But this is definitely cleaned up quite a lot in here. That's great. Let's check out this situation. So we're still lacking in some workers over here. I'm not hugely shocked by this, in all honesty. Let's bring that up. There we go. And yeah, the development over here is continuing, but we are currently at a point where we need to allow our demand to come up. So all this reworking of our road system, not helpful on that front, I'm afraid. Let's see, we do have a metro station here that would require relocation if we were going to upgrade this street. It's not currently causing issues, so let's keep an eye on that and only upgrade it if it does end up causing issues. Okay, so I don't think any of these guys will really be in a position to have path found their way onto this really awkward ramp yet. And actually, I really hate the shape of this ramp. I want to try it again. If we just do this, would that work? We might be able to make this work if we just do it like that. In which case, we would want to definitely redo this. And it looks like it kind of kept it anyway. So this is better, but we need to redo our path for sure. Our elevated footbridge. And we'll turn that off and bring it down to ground level. Oh yeah, that's fine. An eyesore, to be sure, but also fine. Okay, and then we'll just bring that out to there. Okay. Now, we want to make sure that we have pedestrians forbidden at, like, this entire area. So, we will definitely make sure that we have that. We need this. So, that's all pedestrians forbidden. We'll forbid pedestrians over here, as well as over here. No pedestrians allowed there, in those locations. Okay. So the way that the pedestrians get out of here is they either go to this bus stop or they take this bridge. But this bridge only takes them to here or here. It does not take them over here. And I feel like that's an oversight, and we actually do need to fix that. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll bring it into there and then to there. Excellent. So now there's a footbridge that takes them over to this side over here where they can cross. Well, they can cross this street anyway, right? I don't think we have any permissions forbidding them over here, but yeah, that'll work fine. So that'll allow them to navigate this area in a quasi-reasonable manner. So we're not expecting this ramp to see usage yet, but in a while. I mean, if we go in here, we see that the traffic is backed up for a very long way here, and this is not shocking to me. This is, of course, the reason why we put in... Here we are. This is, of course, the reason why we put in this ramp. And this, we don't seem to need a double lane. This we might want to have be a 2-lane one-way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That does make it a little bit larger, and that does take out this little section of the footpath. We can just have that come down over here instead. I'm not sure that there's really too much of a reason to walk here, though, in all honesty. Okay. So a lot of these are going to be proceeding straight, right? Because they want to come up and join this mess. That's going to be true for a lot of these. But if they want to go out this way, there's now a much more efficient way to do that. And look at that. It's seeing some use. By people coming south and then going up this way and then parking. Yeah, they're just trying to park on it. Okay. Definitely not what I had intended, but, sure. Can we forbid parking here? Let's see, that's the junction there. No, I don't want to clear traffic. Let's see here. Parking restrictions. No parking. No parking. There we go. Don't park there. There's plenty of places to park. Actually, there isn't because we've been using the trees. They can't park anywhere. And it's glorious, is it not? No parking allowed. You're just not allowed to park. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so at this point, we're starting to see that this is going reasonably well. That's good. I do want to eliminate this abandoned structure. There's a lack of workers over here, but what we're doing right now is we're just allowing all of this to develop. And in fact, I'm going to move it up to speed 3 for a little bit while we do that. And we're just going to wait to see if this cleans up at all, which I feel like it isn't. I feel like it isn't at all. And talking to people that almost never talk back. So there is that. There's a window into another room where Alex sits and moves all the knobs. It's definitely something that we need to deal with. Alex says his microphone doesn't work, but that's and fine. I'm wondering, what's this traffic light doing? We're stopped here right now, and then we go. Interesting. These guys stopped before they needed to. And then a few cars get to go. But the core issue here is this being an intersection. Okay. Because we can't move up as far as we used to be able to. So there's this big gap here. Right. Okay. Well, what if we made, say, what if we changed our lanes here? And we made this be straight, this be straight. Well, no, this would have to be straight and turn only. And then this one could be turn only. Yeah, something more like that. That's allowing more traffic to flow, but I'm not going to say that it's allowing a ton of traffic to flow. I think that this was probably better as a highway, or not as a highway, as a on-ramp, so that this happened instead. Well, no, this is going to be the same issue, isn't it? Yes, indeed it is. So should we have these not come in at the same location then? Perhaps. So if we take that out, it still creates that situation, which I don't particularly care for. And I think this is because this is not highway here. This is just a 6-lane one-way road, right? So I feel like that's the core issue there. And this doesn't help exactly. And yeah, that's all exactly the way it needs to be. Okay. It's definitely something to think about. And think about it I shall. Oh, hello, academic year. Thank you. Because I didn't realize this was backed up as far as it was. It's currently backed up all the way to the airport. So, alternatives. Alternatives. There are some. One thing that I'm thinking about doing right now is taking this straight up to... I want snapping on for this. Straight up to here. And then curving it over this way, or rather over this way, and taking it underground. And then connecting it in somewhere over here. Well, taking it underground like that. And it'll need to go further under, in theory. That's quite a tight corner there. Quite a tight corner indeed. Yeah, that would end up building a bridge because this is a very dramatic drop-off. So I think what we want to do instead is change this to come up further over here. And go underground like that. And then go underground one more step. Before curving back around. Well, hi, forest fire. Okay. We have fire helicopters. It should be okay. And then from there, we can come out over this direction. Like so. And then come over to here where we can maybe bring it up like this. And then what if we connected it in over here, in theory, approximately like this? Now, we can't do it exactly like that, but if we brought it in, say, over here, and then tried to connect it in, I don't know how I would manage to connect it in over here. I think we actually need to have this come back a little bit more. So, in other words, bring it somewhere around, like, approximately here, but I don't like this positioning. Let's turn off the snapping and see what we can find. Like here. That comes out space already occupied because of this section here, I feel like. So, we then connect that in over here, and we're essentially giving an alternate route. Then we bring this up like that. Like that. It's not the prettiest, but it should pull a lot of pressure off of this over here. Is this a traffic light? No. Why are you not going right now? Because you're trying to turn this way. I see. Okay. Well, we now have our traffic moved up enough that they're pathfinding through here nicely. That's good. And how much traffic is going to pathfind its way to the north? Looks like quite a lot. So that is great. Let's check in on that forest fire situation. There's definitely a forest fire going on. But it looks like it's well under control, if you ask me. I think that this is not the most elegant of solutions, if I'm clear. But I do think that it is a functional solution. So let's just take a look at how much this traffic cleans up over the next little while. I'm going to have it on speed 3, and it is about time to put a cut in here. There's no doubt about that. However, I'm going to let this run for just a couple of extra minutes here. However, I will say right now that you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and let's just see how much traffic this ends up pulling north. And the answer appears to be quite a lot. They enter the tunnel here, they come out here, and then they can come up this way and go wherever they need to. So that should provide a... This may actually end up becoming the primary outlet, and this may become the secondary outlet. And given the state of this situation down here, I'm reasonably okay with that. I feel like I don't want a left turn allowed here. Let's go ahead and remove the left turn from here. Like that. They have to go right. Just to make sure this lane stays much more clear. Excellent. So that traffic got to move a little bit anyway. It's because of the short distance here between these intersections, I feel like that a lot of this is an issue. But having an additional thoroughfare here to get through, that will help pretty dramatically. And we can see that it's not exactly cleaning up right now, but it's hopefully going to be getting better in the near future. Another option is we could eliminate this. I'm not sure what that would end up looking like. Well, it's definitely moving a lot more. At least until it bogged down this intersection. Okay, let's go ahead and make this be a 2-lane over here, just because I feel like that's going to be minimally necessary. We may even want to upgrade it like that. And then if we do that, I definitely want to make sure that we are only allowing turns. Like so. Okay. So something along those lines. And we may want, actually, to upgrade that as well, like so. And similarly, we would only allow turning here. Like that. Okay. With that, I'm definitely going to go ahead and put that cut in here. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not expecting it to necessarily be the best, especially as we have stoplights all along here, and we probably don't necessarily want that. But I already told you what to do in the outro, and so that is indeed what you should do. Leave those offerings, and I will see you all next time when we see that power problem.